Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Alex here of Advice by Alex. I want to thank you very much for stopping by and giving me a listen to. Today is Friday, the November 14th, 2025. I want to thank you very much for giving me a listen to today. And I hope you all are having an absolutely fantastic day and a good week. I know this has been kind of out a little late. I do apologize. There's a lot going on in my personal world. Even though I've been trying to get a lot of videos out recently on my YouTube channel, it is where things are. And if you hear things in the background, it's just me opening my water. I like to keep it real with you guys, you know? So I definitely have been trying to keep it real. And things of that nature. So, but yeah, so hopefully you all are doing well. I meant to record this last week, but then I tried to record it, and then when I was about to save it, the whole thing went away, and I was upset because I spent a lot of time on it as well. Just a couple of announcements, before I am doing the regular podcast. So if you have not gotten a chance to check out the podcast special or get the podcast special, I would definitely take advantage of the 1111 Angel or the Energy Portal for 1111 Angel reading that I have going on for the podcast special, which is where in that reading we deliver messages, we pull some cards, you get a chance to answer 2 questions. So you get a very in-depth kind of a reading, and it's $40. I mean, for $40, that's quite a good value, especially in the times that we are in right now. And even coming up this month, we will have a Black Friday special. So, that is quite exciting. So that is always a good thing. Time to stack up on readings, give readings to a friend, you know, the whole 9 yards. And if you would like to get some readings, you can always, if it's not the podcast special, you can visit me on my Etsy shop at Angel Soul Blessings 777. Again, that's Angel Soul Blessings 777. And if you see a reading on there that you would like and you don't want to pay it through the site and you want to pay it directly to me, you can definitely do so either with Cash App or PayPal and things like that. And then that way you know it's going to where it's going to. Even if it's on Etsy, it's still going to me. But you can also do it that way. Just when you send it over to me, if you're sending it over that way, just let me know what reading you're getting, so that way I can got you down. So I don't know why I didn't say that before, but that is another way to do that as well. That is there, and I'm trying to think what else. I have a bunch of things being released on YouTube this week, so take advantage of all that good stuff that is coming out. So a lot of important messages that were coming through for those videos. So I have one coming out this evening in about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, not this evening. It was for earlier in the week, but I had one coming out on a couple days and things like that. So, but anyway, that is where that is at, and things of that nature. So that is there, and things of that nature. So, but yeah, so that is where that is at. So, but here we go into the reading, not the reading, but the podcast. So the next segment here is that we have is the card of the week. And it doesn't matter if it's listening today or if you're listening a few months from now or a few years from now. This is a card for you because all readings are timeless. So I'm going to put the mic down while I shuffle. And this is from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart by John Holland. And we'll see what messages are in store for the week, for the card of the week. I do love the card of the week and stuff like that. It's quick, easy, peasy, to the point, and it is that way. Me and Teddy Bear have been having a great time recently, and it's just where we've been having some snuggle times, and things of that nature. So, yeah. Ooh, I love that. So, this, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, it is the card of manifest. So, manifesting your desires. So it's basically what is on your heart to be able to manifest. And we all have good things that we want to manifest: a new job, a new relationship, or a new place to live, for example, or a new car and things like that, or being able to make enough money to pay the bill that is coming up for people, or just paying rent or mortgage. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy. So it's all about that ability to be able to manifest. And what the angels are really saying is that it's all about a time of taking advantage of the 1111 angel portal, because the energy is still there this week for taking advantage of the portal. And it is where we have the ability to co-create with God in order to do that. And with a manifestation, it's also what they're showing me. It's all about our vibration. So it's all about allowing our vibration to be lifted. And it's about a time of looking within ourselves in order to be letting go of things that no longer serve us. That can help to be able to raise our vibration. So whether that is an ending of a relationship, ending of a job, ending of whatever, it is where that is at. And along with Mercury retrograde, we do have that in the mix as well. So that is a perfect card to have, and things of that nature. So, and I feel like it's just going to take some time for things to come to fruition, but we'll be able to get there. Not all the small things. I feel that the small things, whenever I manifest small things, it can happen pretty quickly. But if it's the bigger stuff, it can take some time to work behind the scenes for things to line up in divine timing. So, for example, I'm trying to move and leave the place that I'm at. That way I can go back to the Cleveland area of Ohio and everything like that from the Columbus area, because I'm done with Columbus, so I've had enough. Yeah, so the current place that I'm at, the lease that I have is not until the end of next December of 2026, but I'm setting my intention for April of 2026 to be able to move. So I know that's not that far away, but it is still entirely possible. And so we're just got to have the faith and the funds to be able to get there. So, but I know it's possible, and that's another part of manifestation, which is all about believing and having faith that things will be there and things like that. So, interesting enough, they're showing me also, I'm going to draw another card here for clarification on the manifest, which would be the regular tarot. Oh, okay. Well. Well, everybody, we have two cards. I'm actually going to turn the light on because I do not have the light on. I'm going to need a light in order to be able to see. So we're going to go on a little field trip. And the amazing thing about recording this on my phone is that I can take you guys with me anywhere in the world. And things of that nature. So that is absolutely fantastic. And there's no editing of the podcast. So what you get is real life. And things of that nature. So if Teddy does something in the background, you hear it. If I need to yell at Teddy, you hear it. So that is where that is at. So the cards that we had along with the manifest card is the Queen of Wands. Self-respect, introverted, self-confidence, selfishness, jealousy, insecurity, narrow-minded, and deceit. So with this card, and in retrospect of the manifest card, it's where we really have to look within our inside of ourselves in regard to why we want what we want. What is the real meaning of why we want what we want? Is there an underlying factor that we don't realize that is causing those things to rise to the surface? Because sometimes we have certain intentions or things that are there, but it's not for the best intention. So, and that is kind of where this card is coming from. It's just kind of understanding the whole of our manifestations before we do them. And then, of course, it's all about opening up to a broader perspective, not having just that one-track mindset of this is it, this is it, this is it. A lot of times manifestation is like that. It's like where if we're looking to buy a house and we want this, but something else comes into play and it's perfect for you, but you're resistant to it because it's not what you manifested. But turns out with the other place, there was this issue, and you didn't know about it, and then you should have you regret buying the place, and then you wish you had bought the other place. So, and that is if you went that route, but if you went the route that you were supposed to take, everything would have worked out, and it would have been a lot better because you would have saved money too. So that's just an example of that. And then also we do have here is the Six of Swords. There is a state of transition where you're being forced out of your comfort zone or a difficult past and you're headed toward uncharted territory. This move is crucial for your growth wherever you are wanting or not. Whether you're wanting it or not, take the time to reflect on any emotional baggage you may be carrying so that you can, as you're moving between phases, and see what you may be able to leave behind. So transition, moving on, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving to calmer waters, relationship ending, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and air. So really in all in fact, this is an important message in regard to manifestation and everything like that. So it's just kind of validating what we were discussing there and things like that. So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful card to have, even in the midst of what chaos may be there and things of that nature. So, but yeah. So, let us go on here to the topic, which is what it's like being a medium, part 2. So I'll try to get through as many of these as possible, but again, I never know how long I like to chit-chat. We've already been chit-chatting for 14 minutes, so I don't want to make it too long in regard to that, because I could have just gone off on a tangent of manifestation for the entire podcast, and it would have been a whole different episode than what I had planned. So we'll talk about this for a little bit, and things of that nature. So But the first question here that we left off is, what is the most beautiful part of being a medium? So what I've learned over the years of being a medium is that I feel that the most beautiful part is being able to help other people, whether it is um, doing a mediumship where people have passed, or whether it is angel mediumship as well, where you're dealing with the archangels and everything like that. And it's just basically, it's truly a beautiful thing to watch people have their aha moments, because it validates a lot of things that they're currently going through. And that's exactly why I love helping other people to be able to create that change and helping them move forward on the path that they are meant to be on, and not having them be afraid of that change. So, and I feel like that's a beautiful thing. And we are all always afraid of what change is. And even between life and death, a lot of people are afraid of dying just because of the unknown factor, and they don't know what to expect, and they are scared of the unknown factor. And a lot of people are also scared because if they are religious, then they are scared if they're going to get into heaven or not. And when I was younger, that was one of my fears that I had to work through, because even as a child, that was like one of my religious traumas that I had to work through. Like, if I make this little mistake, am I going to go to hell? I'm like, I don't think so. But as a child, you have that engraved in you, and it's just very like scary. But and as you grow older, you realize that it's not like that. And then when you become spiritual and you have a spiritual awakening and you go into more mediumship, you start to realize that God accepts everyone. And that, I feel like that is a beautiful thing to see, that when people are coming to a medium and then they realize that they are accepted for who they are. And I feel like that is a beautiful message as well, because I felt when I was little, I was like, oh, even as a child, I knew that I was, like, when I was a child, it was hard on me because of the fact that we were taught to just like, being a man, like a female, and things like that, because being straight was what was the right thing. And for me, that wasn't really the case, because I never really sat with that. And I was like, man, because I didn't know that I was basically attracted to men. And I was like, I was in denial of that. But even at a young age, I always was like, caught myself looking at the same sex and things like that. And so I was like, always there, and things like that. And it wasn't, until later that I began accepting who I was, but that was a journey in itself too, and things like that. So, and that was what I have also learned in therapy and things like that. But it is where acceptance of who you are, I feel like that is such a beautiful thing to see. And then knowing that your loved ones accept you for who you are, and then they see, even if they didn't see in the physical world, then they know on the other side that they are accepting of who you are because they see the bigger picture. And we in this reality don't always see the bigger picture of things, because we only know a small fraction of things and stuff like that. So, and I feel like that's a big part of it. And then going back to the sexuality part and having crushes in grade school and things and stuff like that. And I will always say my first major crush as a kid is going to be silly, and people are going to laugh at it, but I don't care. It is my crush. It was my experience. But the actor that played Major Anthony Nelson in I Dream of Jeannie. That was one of the first crushes that I've had that I can remember as a young child. I really remember that, and I was very much attracted to him. Who knows? I might have had a past life with that man, so I don't know. I never asked about it, but my hunch is that I probably had a past life with, because other actors that were from that time period, I never was that attracted to, and things like that. So if we're talking Bewitched and the actor that played Darren, both of them, I never was that attracted to, but the actor that played Major Anthony Nelson, I was attracted to, and I was like, holy moly, you are very good looking, and things like that. I'm trying to keep it PG, people. And I was PG in my younger years, and things like that. So, but again, I always pushed that back because of the religious part. But once I became more spiritual, and I finally felt accepted for who I was, and that was a journey in itself. And finding my spiritual tribe and people that loved and accepted me for me, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing, and things like that. So, and where I didn't have to hide who I was, and I think that is a beautiful thing to see in other people when they come to a medium and things like that, because then they don't, they can release any healing that they need to release in that. And helping people heal is definitely a part of my purpose and things like that. So, and that's why I love doing it. And what is the hardest part of being a medium? So, many people will say that there are definitely harder parts, and things like that. So a lot of people talk about the emotional weight of being a medium, and that is there. Although I don't like to read with emotion, so I agree with Teresa Caputo with that. I don't like to read with emotion. I ask them my own thoughts whenever I start a reading or beforehand, and I set the intentions for the reading. I always ask my spiritual team to take my emotions out of it, and I set that intention, my own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and just let me concentrate on that person. And I notice that shift when I go into that mode. It's like a different feeling, and things of that nature. So I definitely do know that. So that is where that is at, and things of that nature. So I definitely will say that it is definitely one of the harder parts and things like that. And I would also say that with being a medium, it is also where the hardest part is more the darker side of things. Not many mediums talk about the darker side of mediumship. They think the fluffy, light kind with talking to loved ones on the other side, yes. But there's also some negative things associated with it, which I have encountered in my time here as a medium. And it has taken me a long time to set those strong boundaries with those type of negative spirits and things of that nature. And then I'm like, nope, I only talk to souls in God's white light. You got to respect the boundary, or you got to go bye-bye. And sometimes it can be strong, and sometimes you don't expect it to be strong, so you got to call in your troops. I remember one time there was a negative spirit in a hotel room that we were at, and it was very, very strong, and it was definitely scary. I'm not going to go into certain parts to scare people. But um, mm, the people that I know that listen to this, that are my tribe, if you want to know, you can definitely message me. um, and things of that nature. So, yeah. So it's basically where during those times I really had to call in my loved ones on the other side. I had to surround us because I was with my best friend. I had to surround us in God's white light, and I had to really concentrate on that, and things of that nature. So, and then also just calling in angels, calling in my loved ones, and things of that nature. And that was definitely hard. So, anytime it is that way, and a lot of people don't know this, it is where also I will get dreams of negative things that happen. Like, it could be actual real things. For example, and things of that nature. So yeah, and it can be a bit graphic, and it's challenging, and it can be sleepless nights where you feel spirit around you, and it can be definitely more challenging. So those are more of the challenging parts of it. But if you know that, then you know. So that is kind of like where that is at. So yeah, so that there are good and bad parts to it and things like that. So but the good outweighs the bad, of course. So otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, so that is where it is, and I love what I do and things like that. So hi, Teddy Bear. You have a few words to say? It seems like you're there. You're not used to me being home today. Yeah. I am normally, when I'm recording this on a night that I'm normally at the hotel, but I had some car issues where I had to get a new tire. Where I'll be getting a new tire on Thursday, but um, it's a Wednesday that I'm recording this, so Teddy Bear is not used to that factor. So um, he'll know that I'll be at the hotel tomorrow because it'll be all good and dandy tomorrow. But um, I canceled everything today because I didn't want to risk it with the vehicle. So it'll be interesting to get to the location for tomorrow. I will probably leave earlier and things like that, so that way I can um, get there and maybe get some air in the tires beforehand and things like that. So, but anyway, but yeah, so this is Friday though. So this is coming out. So, but yeah, so that is there and everything like that, and I do hope that you enjoy it. I know it's been a whirlwind and things like that. So I'm just trying to put as much things out there right now and things of that nature. Just because there are some things going on in my family that if things happen, I will need to attend to, and things like that. So, but yeah, so, that is where that is at. But this is, the end of the podcast, but, yeah, so if you would like to get the 1111 angel reading, please leave that in, or please email me, and then we'll get that squared away. Take advantage of it while you can. And then, yeah, so we will be doing that. And then the Black Friday special coming up, and we also have um And Christmas coming up soon, so a lot of good things in the works coming up for the end of the year and things like that. So, but yeah, so if you like this channel, I say hit the subscribe button, the like button, comment. Love to hear interactions with people and everything like that. But until next time, guys, I am sending you so much love, angel blessings, and I will talk with y'all later. Bye, everybody.